Good morning, everyone. Ooh, it is. There we go. I recorded a whole show one time without streaming it. Remember that, Mark? Yeah, I was like, hey, everybody was watching me, but they couldn't hear anything. That was funny. All right, we're going to go in. We have John Subers and Angela Sterrett. Did I pronounce that
You
correctly?
did.
Right now with Advent, what do you call it? Advent Health Palm Coast? Is that correct name? Okay. All right, we'll get that.
You are now tuned in to Today with Pastor Jay on WNZF News Radio, where we discuss inspiring and informative news. And now here's your host, Pastor Jerlyn Denny.
Good morning, good morning. Wake up and good morning. It is a good, great, and beautiful day to be alive. And I just want you guys to stretch just for a moment and thank God that you are on this side of the earth. You know, time is short. People say that all the time, but it really and truly is. I closed my eyes and woke up, and my youngest daughter, who is the youngest of 7 children, just finished and applied for her first college. Yeah, so she sent me a screenshot, first college application gone, and I'm going, wow. I remember when I first became a mom, and I was looking forward to her leaving. She's the last one. What do I do now? What do I do now? Well, I'm going to tell you one of the things I have been focusing on. As you get older and your children leave, you begin to focus on things that you never thought about. One of them is health. So I've been focusing a lot on my health, focusing a lot on exercising and doing things, not so much to extend my life, but you forget all the things that when you were, 10, 15, 16 years old, 20 in your 20s or 30s. Well, I'm 29 in some months because I also weigh 129 pounds and some ounces. So when you get older, you tend to focus on your health just so you can have a good lifestyle and have not so much longevity, but who wants to be stuck in the hospital? So my guests this morning are from Advent Health Palm Coast. I have Angela Sterrett and John Subers. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Is it me, or when you get older, you really start thinking about the health thing?
Yeah, we have a lot of people that come in to talk to us just to learn about healthy eating and a better lifestyle.
So you are the diabetes educator for
Yes. Yeah, I am one of 2. I am the registered dietitian. Chris Willman is my nurse counterpart.
So how's that going?
Going great.
So how long have you been doing this?
Well, I've been a dietitian almost 30 years, and I've been in diabetes education going on 20 years.
Very nice. So let me ask you, because I'm black, if you hadn't figured that out. I'm brown, blackity black, black, black. I'm just black, I thank God I'm black. But diabetes in the African American or black communities is a big thing. It's a huge thing. In black communities, we don't like to talk about.
Nope.
Yeah. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
We don't be talking about our collard green, talking about our fried chicken and stuff, not trying to be stereotypical, but I think that's with everyone. But when it comes to black health and the quality of care, we've always been shunned in a way in terms of quality of care we receive from hospitals and from doctors. That's a statistical fact. And it has caused the black communities to shy away from things like breast exams and getting mammograms and just even going to the doctor for regular checkups. But diabetes is one of those issues that's in the black community that's prevalent, not just in the black community, but I just thought I'd bring that up. So
Yes.
How have you done any outreach? Because that in black John Subers, that's just a thought, really, to think about black community, because we're not one to go to the hospital. We think hospitals are for other people.
Well, the communities of color tend to be disproportionately affected by diabetes and tend to be less receptive to outpatient education. Not sure if they think that they're going to be blamed or if they're going to be told that it's somehow their fault, or that they think that someone like myself is going to be the food police and tell them that they can't have the things that they enjoy. Everyone, no matter what, is a food culture. And there are things in your food culture that you don't want to be told that you can. I tell patients all the time, there aren't any bad foods. The problem is that we just don't have really good eating habits.
I like that idea.
And we have done outreach, especially through our Daytona office at Bethune-Cookman, doing seminars and health outreach through their School of Nursing. It's just now in the COVID, a lot of things have been squashed.
Well, let's talk about COVID, because COVID has affected every bit. Imagine even with the hospitals, a lot of the surgeries and stuff were shut down during treatments. And like you said, education platforms are different. How have you adjusted in terms of getting this information out there in education? I'm tired of looking at a computer screen.
I know, but telehealth has become a huge part of our education platform. We do have telehealth classes, and I do quite a bit of telehealth individual medical nutrition therapy, not just for diabetes, but for a variety of different health conditions.
John, so this is good. I know you have been affected. You always have the gala every year. You've had the 5K.
Yes.
But the last couple of years with COVID, it's just been kind of strange as well.
It has been strange. And just getting back to the diabetes topic, the hospital, and it's a requirement, every 3 years provides a community needs assessment. What in the community really needs to be addressed by the local hospitals? And it's a kind of ours is a Volusia, Flagler County, and diabetes was number one on the list. That
really?
It is a huge deal in our community, and I don't know the breakdown of the ethnical breakdown, but I know it's huge. Number one, that it's in diabetes affects so much other health issues that Angela can certainly talk about. Well, with that, and it's been a very high over the last couple of years, but our foundation created the Diabetes Alliance. And Diabetes Alliance is a volunteer organization that are a group of people in our community that just care about diabetes and getting the word out and the message out. So we raise a little bit of funds with the Diabetes Alliance, and we do a little bit of education throughout the community. Angela's part of our committee, and she is very valuable because she is a great speaker, talking to small groups, talking about education and what to do, not to be scared of diabetes, but how to address it right on type 1, type 2. Why we're here today, Pastor Jay, with you, is November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and we're in front of the May and Flagler Beach commissions and raising our diabetes flag all around November 14th, which is World Diabetes Day, and that is the day that insulin was invented years and years ago. So the month of November, we turn blue, and it's all about diabetes awareness because it is a huge disease in our community and the healthcare.
I didn't realize that diabetes was number one in our community. So I appreciate you sharing that with us. And those that are listening that may have diabetes, or is this something that's hereditary? Like if it's in your family, or it's just, I don't really know a lot about it.
Well, when you talk about type 2 diabetes, the two big groups of people that develop type 2 diabetes is number one, who have a family history of diabetes. The more people that are closely related to you, the higher your risk becomes. So if you have one first-degree family member, a mother, father, sister, or brother, your risk increases by 40%.
Wow.
If both of your parents have diabetes, your risk increases to 70%. The other most common reason to have type 2 diabetes is to have called the Metabolic Syndrome. And that's going to be a cluster of disorders that include having high blood pressure, blood lipid abnormalities, and a larger waist circumference. That's over 35 inches for women, over 40 inches for men.
Don't get personal here, Angela.
Hey, but I tell the men
I
it's
thought
not.
I said I was 129 pounds and some ounces. I don't know what she.
But I tell the men all the time, it's where your belly button is, because men's waists don't get any bigger as they get older. They just wear it lower.
Smart.
A lot of times people that develop type 2 diabetes will have components out of both.
Well, we've got to take a break. We're going to talk about that, different types of diabetes and treatment and prevention when we come back from the break. Don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. You're listening to Today with Pastor Jay. Maybe instead of coming in from the break, when we go out from the break, no, I'll come in now from it. Well, no, I'll save it at the end. Okay. Welcome back. Welcome back. You listen to Today with Pastor Jay, and I have Angela Sterrett and John Subers from Advent Health Palm Coast, and we're talking about diabetes, something that no one wants to talk about. You hear all these crazy horror stories, diabetes. People don't want to know limbs, different colors, and people having to be amputated. Those are all the horror stories.
Right.
I mean, I don't know a lot about the diabetes. I know that people, they call it sugar.
Mm-hmm. I got a touch of the sugar.
I got yeah. Like you got sugar. That's what they call,
Mm-hmm.
So where they get this name sugar from?
Well, diabetes mellitus means sweet urine. And it relates back to the observation that the urine of people that developed diabetes hundreds of years ago attracted ants and flies because there was a lot of sugar in it.
Oh. Huh. Who knew?
That's how they used to test for diabetes. They tasted urine.
Now, see, you don't.
I know I didn't have to throw that in there. That was TMI.
Look, you don't. So, John, is that how y'all test the urine now over there at Advent Health? You just taste it, John. Like, don't go there, Pastor Jay. That's good to know.
Yeah. And diabetes treatment really has come leaps and bounds in a very short period of time. Most people don't realize that home blood glucose monitoring has only been around since about 1978.
Okay.
Before that, the sugar in their urine with a test strip, and it wasn't very accurate.
Well, tell our community how they can get tested right now.
Well,
It's pretty simple.
right. I mean, you can go to your doctor's office and have them do blood work. We will be having a good many outreach programs during the month of November, and we will be pairing up with the health department, and they will be there with blood glucose monitors, and they will be doing random blood glucoses. And
And that's really just a finger prick.
right.
So it doesn't hurt, just a little prick.
No.
And is there a cost associated with this? Or is this?
And I believe you can go to any fire station in the city of Palm Coast 24 anytime throughout the year and get your diabetes checked.
Wow.
Yeah, they just offer that as a free service. Just walk in and say, hey, I would like to get my test done.
For those that are afraid to go to the hospital, for those that are a little concerned, this is a great way for them to go and just get checked.
Yes.
Free of charge. You can go to any of the fire stations. That is awesome. That's really nice. So let's talk about the different types of diabetes. So how many different types of diabetes are there?
Well, main types. There are several different types, but the two main types we discuss are type 1 and type 2.
Okay.
But we also have gestational diabetes and something called MODY and something called LADA. So when you talk about the different types of diabetes, type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease. So that for some reason, the person's immune system gets kicked into overdrive and then goes haywire and decides that the cells in the pancreas that create insulin are the enemy, and they destroy them. So that is why people that develop type 1 diabetes have to replace insulin with injection several times a day, every day, from the very beginning for the rest of their natural life. Because the hormone that our body creates that converts all the food that we eat into energy. So without the action of insulin, we can eat the food, but we don't get a lot of energy out of it. So probably one of the more common complaints when someone's blood sugars are high is that they're extremely tired. They don't have any energy to do anything.
So that's like one of the, I wouldn't say side effects, but again, that's one of the things that happens.
It's an indicator.
It is. What are some other indicators of diabetes other than being tired?
Well, when someone's blood sugars run really high, it can't just stay in the blood, okay? Because if the sugar stayed in the blood, then the blood would become like syrup, thick and gummy. Okay, so the body gets rid of extra sugar its only other way, and that's through dilution. And so the body starts to pull water out of all of our tissues to dilute the sugar in our blood. And so then the side effect of that is our mouth gets real dry, our eyes get real dry, and our skin gets real dry. Well, what happens when your mouth gets dry? You drink a lot of liquid, and then what goes in must come out. So the symptoms of diabetes tend to be increased thirst and frequent urination, dry, blurry vision, and being really tired. The problem with that is, what is that not about being someone over the age of 50 living in Florida?
I'm sitting here thinking I might need to get tested.
But that's the problem.
Right.
Especially with type 2 diabetes, it does not hurt. If diabetes would hurt, like having an abscessed tooth hurt, nobody would be undiagnosed. Everyone would stay in really good control, because we all know we'll move heaven and earth to get rid of a toothache. The problem with diabetes is it tends to make you numb, and you may not realize how bad things have gotten until the numbers get so high for it and you end up in the doctor's office or the hospital. And the interesting thing is, probably the doctors that diagnose the most diabetes are going to be the foot doctor, your podiatrist, your dentist, a urologist, or a gynecologist. Because the symptoms will bring on numbness in the feet, problems with gums, because your gums are very vascular and they tend to get affected by diabetes. We'll diagnose it because you've just gotten a pair of glasses and now you can't see out of them because your vision is so blurry and you don't know why. The urologist, because you're urinating so much and you don't know why. And for women, especially when our urine becomes sweet from all this sugar, then we end up developing yeast infections, which will then send us to the gynecologist.
Wow.
So the symptoms will get you diagnosed.
Do you believe, and this is just your opinion, that because of the symptoms that are very common, that everything you've described is things that we can have at different stages in our life, because it's so common, that's why diabetes is so high? Would you think, John or Angela?
But it's also probably the reason why it does not get diagnosed. The symptoms really are so benign. Everybody has thirst and urination. You work out in the yard, drink water, you urinate more.
And it's Florida.
Right. But the thirst and the urination is a little bit different with diabetes, because if you talk to someone who's been diagnosed through that main symptom, the mouth is almost like cotton mouth. You cannot drink enough fluid, and your tongue just sticks to the roof of your mouth. You can't get, and before you can get off the toilet and pull your britches up, you got to go pee again. So it's very, very frequent. It's not just I peed 10 times instead of 8. You're peeing 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 times a night.
The other news about diabetes and type 1, type 2, there's testing, and you can work yourself out to diabetes with exercise, weight.
I was getting ready to ask that question.
And the knowledge of what our healthcare is, help manage it better, as well as, and I get off of medication if you're type 2 diabetic, correct?
So I hear
Angela?
this all the time, diabetes. Oh, I'm not diabetic anymore. I've gotten rid of it.
The problem with it is that by the time someone is diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, about 50% of the cells in their pancreas that make insulin have pooped out and died off. We don't get those cells back. Now, if we lighten the load through eating healthy, a little weight loss, more exercise, we can get diabetes under control, and you can get off some of your medication. Because if you were diagnosed with a blood sugar of 500, the doctors are going to start you off on a lot of medication. And as your blood sugars get better and you are learning more about the management, you can get the type 2 diabetes under control. The problem is diabetes itself right now cannot be cured. It can be controlled.
I'm glad you clarified that, because I hear a lot of people go, oh, I've gotten rid of diabetes. I don't have it anymore. It's just under control. It's nothing that there's a cure for.
Because even people that have had bariatric surgery and lose a tremendous amount of weight, their diabetes will be what we call in remission. So if you can keep your numbers normal with no medication for at least 6 months, you're considered to be in remission. But if you regain the weight and you put the burden back on the pancreatic cells to make more insulin, you may not be able to make enough at that point, and your blood sugars will start to go back up.
All right, well, we got to take another break. Don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. We're going to come back and talk about some preventative measures or what we can do to make sure you don't get it at all. God bless you. Come on back. Okay, so when we come back from the break, we're just going to talk about some preventative measures that people can take now. Type 2 diabetes, right?
Yes.
Okay, because there is something that they can do so they don't. Okay, all right, just want to make sure.
And I'd like to just talk about our event on the Diabetes Alliance.
I wish we had more time.
I know. You can always come back. Anytime. Even if you just come and just want to record 5 or 10 minutes, I can put it on another show or
that'd be
something along
great.
those lines. If you want to record like a 15 or 30-second commercial while you're here, I'll run it for free on my radio show if you want to do that
Great.
for the entire month of November, to remind people Awareness Month, blah, blah, blah. Whatever you want to do, we can do that. I'm all about educating the community, trying to get them up to par. You ready? Walking back to Today with Pastor Jay. Absolutely. We've got to be living, breathing, walking, moving miracles because there are some ways to prevent type 2 diabetes. And we got a few minutes left. Angela, let's talk about that.
Well, probably one of the biggest ways to prevent it is to know that you're at risk. And so many people don't have a good grasp of their family history because a lot of times older people didn't tell us what was wrong with us because it wasn't none of our business.
Mm-hmm.
Or they didn't.
That's the truth.
Or
they didn't.
They didn't want to be judged. They didn't want us to, slap something out of their hand because, oh, you got the sugar, you can't eat that. If sugar gave someone diabetes, everyone on the planet would have diabetes. It's not about eating sugar. It is about portion control and keeping our weight at a reasonable level. Now, we don't talk about people going to their ideal body weight because that's a bit much, but looking to find a good, healthy weight for you and understanding that, your eating habits are very key. A dietitian I worked under many, many years ago at a VA health center when I was doing my training, she used to tell her patients that, we dig our graves with our knife and fork.
That's what I say all the time.
Okay.
People
we
are
have to
killing
decide
themselves with forks and knives every day.
But are we eating to live or living to eat? Okay. If we eat to live, then we nourish our bodies with the things that are healthy. When we live to eat, then we allow ourselves to have cravings and we give into those cravings. And one of the things people with type 2 diabetes will tell you is their blood sugars go up. They're hungry all the time, and it's very difficult to control their intake. So knowledge is power. Knowing that you have a risk factor and then getting yourself tested to understand whether you are in the process of developing diabetes. When I first started, we told people that there were about 14.5 million people that had diabetes. We're up to 34 million and 58 million people that have prediabetes and don't even know
it.
No.
So, John, you have an event coming up, or what is it? World Diabetes Day?
Just the month of November is totally to let our community know that about the stuff Angela is talking about, to identify diabetes, be able to make the personal choices. So yes, we have some flag raising and proclamations, but our main event is November 14th, World Diabetes Day. We're partnering with the city of Palm Coast. We're right behind City Hall around the lake, and it's just an hour event that we're exercising. We're walking around the park. We're doing some yoga with hot yoga and a 10-minute jazzercise with Melissa Mandello. So it's a 4:00 in the afternoon around the lake. Join us on World Diabetes Day, Sunday, November 14th, for our Diabetes Alliance World Diabetes Day event.
Well, I'm for coming to educate and to bring awareness to something most people don't want to talk about and sharing all the great news. So you're welcome to come back anytime. Thank you. Especially you, Angela. Not that you can't come, John, because I love you. But you can come and co-host my show all month if you want to. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. You can always give a plug. All right, guys, you know what I say? Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow's not promised. What are you going to do today? Today, you're going to thank my sponsors. I want to say thank you to thefloridamortgagecenter.com for sponsoring today Pastor J, and 500 bankruptcy. But also, you're going to go and get, as we say, go get your sugar check. Go get a check. Go to any fire station, go anywhere, get pricked, go to the health free. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. You can say, hi, I'm John Subers. You can say, I'm Angela Sterrett. Ooh, from Advent Health, Palm Coast. And then go. Join us this month or blah, blah, blah. There you go. All right. Whenever you're ready, he's waiting on you.
I'll just say, hi, I'm John Subers. Hi, I'm John Subers.
And hi, I'm Angela Sterrett, and I am a registered dietitian and certified diabetes care and education specialist with Advent Health, Daytona, and Palm Coast. Just reminding you that November is Diabetes Awareness Month. Insulin is 100 years old this year. We are celebrating that the month of November through a lot of events through Advent Health Palm Coast in the community for people to learn about their risk factors and get tested to find out, do they have diabetes? Knowledge is power. Find out if you are at risk and get tested so that you can control this disease.
Say, go to diabetesalliance.com. All the information.
For more information about what is available this next month, go to diabetesalliance.com.